Obviously, Darren Till is the guy who's going to grab all the headlines this weekend. But it was a bit of a tricky weekend for him with the weight cut issues and all the things that happened leading into the fight. Talk to us about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and how he conducted himself during that process and your dealings with him and his camp during that tricky spell. Because he could have been quite within his rights to have said, do you know what? I'm not going to take this fight now.
Absolutely. He absolutely could have. And him, his father, his camp, all absolute professionals, and I have nothing but respect for them. They, yeah, believe me, there's plenty of guys on this roster that would have bailed on that fight, and you know, I have a ton of respect for him, and obviously we'll do everything we can to give him what he wants and in his next fight.
What do you think might, obviously without naming names, because you don't do that in press conferences, but he fought, he's number one contender, fought a guy lower in the rankings than him and has lost a decision. There's an interim title fight doing the rounds. There's obviously Tyron as a world champion. What do you think the next logical move is for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson now after today?
You know, there's still a lot of guys in that division that we'll see where he ends up in the rankings, but well, you know, there's still a ton of guys for him to fight in there. And you know, he lost twice to the champ. You know, so he's it's one of those situations where, you know, he got to take on all comers. You know, he doesn't have a title shot lined up anytime soon. And but now that he's fought this fight, he could fight another one of these guys and get right back to the top again immediately. He's talented enough.
One more from me. You've got an active champion in Tyron Woodley who's looking to come back. You've got an interim title fight in the makings that's coming up soon. Is the plan to convert that interim title into a unified title, or are you going to give that a bit of a life of itself as well and try and perhaps look at Darren as a potential interim champion and stick him in there with the winner of that fight?
I honestly don't know right now. Right now, you know, get home, play out the rest of this month, see what happens in these fights that are coming up, and then we'll figure out what's next for Till and for Wonderboy.